Hello, my dear students. Welcome to Sri Jaindra Rank Zone classes. I am your mentor and your friend for the subject biology, and I will be taking the zoology section, that is the animal science. My dear students, in the last lecture, we have completed the fluid connective tissue, that is blood. Now we are going to start with the muscular connective tissue. So today we are going to start with the muscular connective tissue, muscular tissue, not the muscular connective tissue. The muscular tissue, we will discuss different types of muscular tissues and their specialized functions. Introduction. Origin. Muscular tissue, it develops from the mesoderm of embryo. So during embryological development, it develops from mesoderm. So it is mesodermal in origin. The muscles, they have a very unique property, a very specialized property of contractibility. They are able to contract, they can change their shape. Okay. So this property of contractibility, it gives a special category to these tissues. Special property of muscular tissue. The cells of muscular tissue can shorten considerably and return to their original relaxed state. Okay, so they can change their shape. So this phenomena of coming back to the original position is known as what? Resiliency. The muscle cells contract in a definite direction. Okay, so contractibility is the special property of muscular tissue. The cells of muscular tissue can shorten considerably and return to their original relaxed state. The muscle cells contract in a definite direction. This phenomena of remembering and to regain their original shape and the size is known as what? Resiliency. Functions of muscular tissue. Muscles, they support the bone and the other structure. Muscles, they usually support the bone and other structures for their locomotion. Locomotive structures. Muscles are responsible for heartbeat, production of sound, cardiac sounds, lub dub. First physiological sound is lub. Second physiological sound is dub. Normal, physiological sounds. The muscles, they are responsible for the heartbeat, production of sound. Muscles, they bring movement of body and body parts and locomotion of individual. So these are different functions that muscles support the skeletal system. Okay, muscles help to produce the rhythmic contraction of heart so that it can pump the blood. It helps to bring movements of body and different body parts and locomotion of individuals. With muscles, they are required for delivering a baby, parturition. Uterine muscles. 40 to 50% of body weight is contributed by muscles. Okay, 40 to 50% of body weight is basically contributed by muscles. Understood? So these are some important points regarding muscles. This is the transverse section of muscle. You can see the outermost layer is epimysium. Then the muscular fibers which are arranged in a fasciculi. Okay. So each muscle fiber is surrounded by a membrane which is known as what? Endomysium. And collection of these muscular fibers, they are locked in a peripheral sheath which is known as what? Perimysium. And this is a fasciculi. Understood? So epimysium, endomysium, and perimysium. Okay? Epimysium is the outermost, then the innermost is endomysium, and the collection of muscle bundles or muscular fibers, it basically surrounded by perimysium. Understood? Now coming to next slide. Types of muscles. Muscles are of three types: striated muscles, unstriated muscles, and cardiac muscles. Striated muscles, also known as stripped muscles, also known as voluntary muscles, also known as skeletal muscles. Okay, so striated muscles, also known as stripped muscles, also known as voluntary muscles, and the skeletal muscles. Unstriated muscles, also known as unstripped, smooth muscles, visceral muscles, involuntary muscles. Okay. So unstripped or smooth or visceral or involuntary muscles. Cardiac muscles, it is a special category. Only found in cardiac region. Heart. Okay. So these are three types of muscles: the striated muscles, also known as stripped muscles or voluntary or skeletal muscles; unstriated muscles; smooth muscle, also known as smooth muscles; involuntary muscles or visceral muscles, as they are present in organs. Support organs. Okay. They basically support the bone and skeletal network. Okay. Now coming to next, striated muscles. Striated muscles, they have striations. Means they have bands which basically reflect dark and light zones. Okay. So the striated muscles, also known as skeletal muscles, they have bands, alternate bands, which are dark and light bands. Okay. The detailing of these muscle fibers, it will be explained in the next coming chapter, that is structural organization of animals. Okay. Now, one muscular unit or one contractile unit, the smallest structural and contractile unit of muscle fibers known as sarcomere. So you can see the outermost covering, this is the outermost sheath, which is the, in the previous slide, epimysium. So here I am just giving you a comparison. This is epimysium. Then there are numerous longitudinal muscle fibers which are arranged in bundles. You can see the bundles. Each bundle is known as what? Fasciculi. Okay, and it is wrapped with a sheath which is known as what? Perimysium. And each muscle fiber is enclosed under a sheath which is known as what? Endomysium. So this sheath, this covering is known as what? Endomysium. You can see the arrangement of sarcoplasmic reticulum, endoplasmic reticulum, which provide calcium ions. Then there are openings into transverse tubules, which help to interconnect mitochondria, myofilaments, sarcoplasm, which is the cytoplasmic part, and sarcolemma, which is the plasma membrane. The striated muscles, they have striations, mean bands on the surface. That is why the name is given, the striated muscles. Okay. Now coming to next, structure. The structure includes that striated muscle fiber is also called strip, skeletal or voluntary muscle fiber. These muscle fiber occurs in bundles and are attached to the skeleton. Each muscle fiber is surrounded by externally by a delicate membrane. That delicate membrane is known as what? Sarcolemma, which is just like to plasma membrane. In each fiber, many nuclei appears at irregular interval. So each fiber is syncytial, means multinucleated. Multinucleated. Okay. Syncytial means multinucleated. The cytoplasm, which is known as what? Sarcoplasm of each fiber, possesses large number of myofibrils, which are tightly packed. The cytoplasm or the sarcoplasm of each muscular fiber, each muscle fiber, possesses large number of myofibrils, which are very closely packed, very tightly packed. Each myofibril possesses dark and light bands, dark band and light bands, alternating with each other. Okay. Dark bands, they are known as what? Anisotropic bands. And light bands, they are known as what? Isotropic bands. Okay. So each myofibril possesses dark band, which is known as what? Anisotropic band, and light band, which is known as what? Isotropic band. Understood? Now coming to next. This is a diagram which is given, which will help you to understand different types of structures. Photomicrograph of portions of two isolated muscle fibers. The magnification is 700 times. Notice the obvious striations alternating dark and light band. You can see dark band, light band, dark band, light band. Okay. Multiple nuclei you can see. This is dark band, and I'll show you the light band. Just alternate to the dark band. This part, which is between two dark band, is light band. Okay. Understood? These are the muscular fibers. Diagram part of muscle fiber showing the myofibrils. One myofibril extends from cut end of the fiber. Okay. So this is when each myofibril or muscular fiber is surrounded by a membrane which is known as sarcolemma. This is sarcolemma. Okay. having multiple mitochondria. This is one myofibril. This one myofibril, when it is, magnified, so you can see that these are the dark A band, okay, and these are light band I band. These are light band and these are dark bands, okay. I mean, dark bands are broad and these are light bands. These are light bands. These are light bands. Okay. Understood? And multiple nucleated. These are the nucleuses. Okay. Now, if we magnify it, the small part of the myofibril enlarged, showing myofilaments. So myofibril is basically made up of myofilaments. It consists of myofilaments. Each myofilament is responsible for the bending pattern, and each sarcomere extends from one Z disc to the next. You can see there are some specialized structures which are given. Thin actin filament. These thin actin filaments, they come under the category of contractile proteins. Thick myosin filament. Okay, so myosin filaments are thick, and actin filaments are thin. And they are what? The contractile proteins. With the help of these proteins only the muscle fiber contract. Now you can see the dark band and the light band alternate, they are arranged. Okay. So each dark band or anisotropic band, which is known as what? A band, is having a light zone. So each dark band is having a light zone known as Hansen's zone, H zone, known as Hansen's zone, Hansen's zone. Understood? That each I band is having a dark line. You can see the dark line, zigzag line. It is known as what? Z disc. Okay. So each light band is having a dark line or a disc known as Z disc. Zwischen-Schibbe line. It is known as what? Zwischen-Schibbe line. Understood? So, extending from one Z disc to the other Z disc, it makes one contractile unit. This one contractile unit is known as what? Sarcomere. So, sarcomere is the one contractile unit. Understood? So each Z line basically consists of a A band, full A band. You can see a full A band and half of I band, half of I band. So each sarcomere is basically consists of I by 2 plus A plus I by 2. Understood? Is it clear? Now you can see that each sarcomere is having A band in the middle, which is having a H zone, and this H zone is basically having a M line. This is the M line. Okay. Now, when it is further enlarged, you can see the myosin heads on the thick filaments. Okay. So the myosin head, these are the myosin heads. They look like this. These are the myosin heads. Okay. These are the myosin heads. Okay. So this is the M line. Okay, M line also known as H zone only. Okay, so this M line separates the I band, a full A band, and the half of the I band, which is known as what? Sarcomere. Okay, so I band thin filaments only. I band only consists of thin filaments. H zone consists of thick filaments only. The M line consists of thick filaments linked with accessory proteins. And outer edge of A band consists of thick and thin filaments overlapped. So all these things will be very elaboratively make you, study in the next coming lecture or in the next coming video of structural organization of animals. Understood? Detailed structure of myofibril already I have explained. This is a cross-link or the cross-bridge theory which was proposed to make you understand about the functioning or the contraction of the myofibrils. Okay. Here a very important term which is given: primary myofilament and secondary myofilament. These primary myofilaments and secondary myofilaments, they basically reflects the type of contractile phases, okay, a muscle will have. Okay, the myosin molecule is having two parts: the head, which is made up of heavy meromyosin, and the tail or the light part, which is the light meromyosin. Okay, myofibril. The dark band of the myofibril is called A band or anisotropic band. Each A band possesses a light zone known as H zone or Hansen's membrane in the middle. Okay. The light band of the myofibril is called I band or isotropic band. Each I band possesses a thin dark Z disc, Zwischen-Schibli line or Creuss membrane. Creuss membrane is also called Dobbe's line or Zwischen-Schibli line. Okay. The Creuss membrane is also known as Dobbe's line or Zwischen-Schibli line. The light band of myofibril is called I band or isotropic band, and each I band possesses a thin dark Z disc or Creuss membrane, okay, in the middle. Each dark band of myofibril is called A band or N-isotropic band. Each A band possesses a light zone called Hansen's zone or Hansen's membrane in the middle. The portion between two discs is called a sarcomere, and sarcomere are the functional units of myofibrils. Sarcomere, they are the functional unit of myofibrils. Each sarcomere has two types of myofilaments: a coarse or a primary myofilament and a fine or a secondary myofilament. Primary myofilament is coarse, means it is rough, and the secondary myofilament is smooth or fine, arranged longitudinally. The primary myofilament is made up of protein called myosin, whereas secondary myofilament is made up of three proteins: actin, tropomyosin, and troponin. So the primary myofilament consists of a myosin protein which gives a rough appearance because of its head, and the secondary myofilament is made up of three proteins: actin, tropomyosin, and troponin. Besides actin and myosin, muscle fiber also contains calcium ions, phosphate, and adenosine triphosphate ATP. The primary filament remain confined to A bands only. So primary filament, they are only found in A bands. Primary filament, they are only confined to A bands only. Okay. So the primary myofilament consists of myosin. Secondary myofilament consists of actin, tropomyosin, and troponin. Primary filament is only confined to the A band. Okay. Now coming to next, location. Striated muscles, they are found in muscles of limbs, means hind limb, forelimb, tongue, and that too the anterior two-third. The anterior two-third part of tongue is having the striated muscles, okay, which is under our bill. Pharynx, okay, beginning of esophagus. So the striated muscles, they are the part of our skeletal system when they are attached to bones. They are found in tongue, anterior two-third part of the tongue, the pharyngeal region, okay, which helps in deglutition, mean to pass on the food material, and beginning of esophagus. Function, these muscles are under the control of will. Okay, is it clear? Now we are going to learn about the unstriated muscles or the unstripped muscles, also known as involuntary muscles. Okay, the involuntary muscles, they are not under the control of our will, and they are basically dependent on the internal responses produced by organs. So unstriated muscle fiber, they are also known as smooth muscle fibers, and striations are absent. Understood? They are also known as involuntary as they don't depend on our will. Their function doesn't depend upon our will. Unstripped and visceral muscles as they are part of the internal organs. Each fiber is elongated. The striated muscles, they are cylindrical, but the unstriated muscles, they are spindle shaped like this, or spindle shaped, having a single oval nucleus surrounded by cytoplasm. The striated muscles, they are cylindrical, and each fiber is elongated or spindle shaped, having a single oval nucleus surrounded by cytoplasm. Understood? Each muscle fiber possesses longitudinal myofibrils arranged. Each muscle fiber consists of longitudinally arranged myofibrils. The fiber is enclosed by plasma membrane called sarcolemma. Okay, but unlike striated muscles, there is no sarcolemma present in case of unstriated muscles. So sarcolemma is present only in the myofibrils of striated muscles or voluntary muscles, but in case of involuntary muscles, sarcolemma is absent. Okay. Several of muscle fibers are joined together in bundles by loose connective tissue. The muscle fibers, so many muscle fibers, they are joined together by loose connective tissue. Okay. Location, they are found in stomach, intestine, lungs, urinary bladder, urinogenital tract, iris of eye, dermis of skin, posterior part of the esophagus, and erector pili muscles of hairs. So they make the part of stomach, intestine, lungs, urinary bladder, urinogenital tract, iris of eye, okay, then dermis of skin, posterior part of the esophagus, and erector pili muscles, which are these erector pili muscles are responsible for goose flash. Is it clear? Now, function. The muscle fibers helps in peristalsis. Peristalsis means rhythmic contraction followed by relaxation of esophagus for the propulsion of food, bolus. Understood? It causes slow and prolonged contraction. Because of this peristalsis, the contraction is very slow and it is prolonged, which is involuntary, not depending on our will, but are controlled by autonomic nervous system. So the peristalsis or many of these functions, they are controlled by autonomic nervous system. as the muscles which are present in is what? Involuntary muscles. Okay. These are smooth muscle fibers which are spindle shaped, uninucleated. Okay. There are two types. There are two categories: single unit, multiple unit. Single unit means they have number of muscle fibers closely joined together. So in single unit, there are many muscle fibers which are closely joined together. And multiple unit, there are number of muscle fibers, but they are not closely joined. Okay. So in case of single unit, the muscle fibers, they are closely joined to each other. And in case of multiple unit, the muscle fibers, they are not closely joined. All the fibers in case of single unit smooth muscle, they contract together as a single unit automatically and rhythmically. Example, walls of hollow visceral organs like stomach, intestine, and urinary bladder. So a single unit muscle cell, basically it reflects what? That it will contract, all the fibers it will contract at the same time as a single unit. Okay? Like walls of hollow visceral organs like stomach, intestine, urinary bladder, etc. The individual fibers in case of multi-unit smooth muscle, it contracts and separate units more of less as independent muscle. Mean each muscle fiber, it can contract separately as an individual muscle, like hair roots and on the walls of large blood vessels. So walls of large blood vessels, they have a multi-unit smooth muscle and the hair roots. Rest other organs, they are associated with the single unit smooth muscle. Understood? The single unit smooth muscle and multi-unit smooth muscle, it is clear. Now the third category is cardiac muscles. Structure. The cardiac muscle fibers show character of both stripped and unstripped muscles. In both, stripped means voluntary and involuntary muscles characteristics are present. Fibers in some characteristic but also have some peculiar characteristics of own. They look like the fibers, means the muscular fibers, okay, but they have some unique characteristics of their own. So the cardiac muscles, they behave or they basically mimic the features of the voluntary and involuntary muscle fibers, but they have some specific characteristics of their own. Similarities with stripped or striated muscle fibers. They have striations, it is cylindrical, high vascularization, mean high amount of blood vessels, having more mitochondria because they are concerned with large amount of ATP generation. They require large amount of ATP, that is why they have more mitochondria and glycogen granules which act as a food reserve in sarcoplasm. They have light and dark bands. Okay, the cardiac muscles, they do have striations, means light and dark bands. So these are the similarities of cardiac muscle to the striated muscle fibers. Like they are cylindrical, they are highly vascularized because they need to supply blood all the time so that it cannot undergo the process of lethargy. They have more mitochondria as they have to produce more and more amount of ATP, and they have reserve food material which is glycogen. Okay, they have light and dark bands. Similarities with smooth muscle fibers. Uninucleated, involuntary, not dependent on our will, covered by plasma membrane. Okay, and unique character is autorhythmicity. So the similarities of cardiac muscles with smooth muscle fibers is that they are uninucleated, involuntary, and they are covered by plasma membrane. Okay. Although the smooth muscle fibers, they don't or they are not covered by plasma membrane or the sarcolemma. Okay. And they have their unique characteristics that they are autorhythmic. They self-generate the impulse of contraction and relaxation. Cardiac muscle fibers are joined with each other by a flat, dense zigzag junctions known as intercalated discs or booster rings. So cardiac muscle fibers, they are joined with each other by flat, dense zigzag junctions called intercalated discs or booster rings. Cardiac muscle fiber is supplied by both central nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Okay, like for example, vagus nerve, it maintains the rhythm of cardiac contraction. So cardiac muscles, they are under the control of central nervous system as well as the autonomic nervous system. These muscles never get fatigued. So in case of humans, the cardiac muscles, they are myogenic, not neurogenic. But in case of frog, it is neurogenic. Because if we cut the vagus nerve of frog, that will die. Okay? So they never get fatigued. Blood capillaries penetrate the cardiac muscle fibers. They have the property of contraction even when they are isolated from the body temporarily, and that is why the cardiac transfer is possible. They show long refractory period. Long refractory period means it is a time lag between two consecutive contractions or relaxations. Understood? So that is why they show long refractory period. So these muscles, they never get fatigued. Blood capillaries penetrate the cardiac muscle fibers to innervate them. They have property of contraction even when they are isolated from the body temporarily, and they show long refractory period. Location. These muscle fibers are found in the wall of heart, and they are very rich in blood supply. Now coming to next, these are the cardiac muscle fibers. You can see that they have desmosomes as the interconnecting junctions in which the cardiac fibers are interconnected to each other. Several mitochondria are here. They have sarcolemma. Nucleus is present. This is the cardiac muscle fiber. Opening of transverse tubules. These are transverse tubules which help to join the cardiac muscle fibers. And they are known as what? The intercalated disc. So these intercalated discs, which are labeled by black finger-like projections, and these are the openings of transverse tubules. Okay? So these gap junctions, they help to interconnect the cytoplasm of two adjacent cells. Okay, gap junctions. So this is a cardiac muscle fiber. Now the differences between the striated, non-striated and cardiac muscles. Striated muscles, also called striated or skeletal or voluntary. Unstripped, also known as non-striated, smooth or visceral, and cardiac means heart muscles. They occur in body walls, limbs, the anterior region of the esophagus, pharynx, and tongue. They occur in the wall of hollow viscera, iris of eye, and the posterior regions of esophagus and dermis of skin. Cardiac occurs in the walls of heart, pulmonary veins, and superior vena cava. Walls of the heart, pulmonary veins, and superior vena cava. They have numerous mitochondria and glycogen granules in striated. Unstriated, they have less number of mitochondria and glycogen granules. And cardiac, they do have numerous number of mitochondria and glycogen granules. In striated or stripped muscle fibers, a T-tubule system is present, which is very well developed. I'll explain in the next coming chapter. Unstripped muscles, they don't have T-tubule system, and cardiac muscles, they do have T-tubule system. Striated muscles, intercalated disc is absent. Unstripped, intercalated disc is absent. Cardiac present. Stripped muscles, fibers are unbranched. Unstripped muscles, fibers are unbranched. Cardiac muscles, fibers are branched. Blood supply is abundant. Okay, capillaries lie on the surface of fibers. Blood supply is scanty. Capillaries lie on the surface of fibers. Okay, blood supply is abundant because to never let the cardiac muscles to move or to come under the condition of lethargy. Lymphatic capillaries are also present in cardiac muscles. Lymphatic capillaries. Understood? Multinucleated and nuclei and just near the sarcolemma. Uninucleated nucleus at the center. Mostly uninucleated nucleus at the center. Myofibrils large, prominent and show distinct alternating dark and light bands. They don't have dark and light bands, they do have. Contract quickly and powerfully but cannot maintain the contraction for a long time because it gets fatigued because of the formation of lactic acid. The unstiff muscles, they show slow movements, okay, but can remain contracted for a long time and are not got fatigued. Same case for cardiac muscles, they never get fatigued. Stiff muscles, they are supplied by the motor nervous system and the central nervous system, neurogenic. Unstiff muscles, they are also neurogenic, innervated by nervous from autonomic nervous system. And cardiac muscles, they are neurogenic plus myogenic, both innervated by nerves from central nervous system and autonomic. So this is all about the differences between the muscles. So my dear friends, we have completed the muscular fiber. In the next turn, we will start first with the knee time and then we will move to the nervous tissue. Okay. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Stay safe, everyone. Stay happy.